Oh, here we go. Nice. I hear audio coming in. It is 9:07 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. And this is our second attempt at an audio, at a video feed that has audio with it. The audio-only supremacists were listening to Hake just fine, and you guys were ruining their day. Complicated business, folks. It is Tuesday, June 27th, 2023 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. And it's 9:08 already. What are we going to talk about? Lord have mercy. We are going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Sadiq Khan. I was telling you guys all about Sadiq Khan. We have a Muslim here. Newsflash, everybody. Hake news is late news. And I will get to your calls, too, by the way. London has a Muslim mayor, and they've had him for years. And he's talking about London, this city was built by migrants, by refugees. And Elton John, speaking of Englishmen, English males, they just don't make Englishmen like they used to. Do they? Or do they? He's not coming to the USA with all these anti-LGBTIQ, or as based, Epic Times calls it, anti-groomer laws. And by the way, you people, you commies, are not welcome. Not welcome, says Senator Rick Scott. Says you're not welcome if you're a communist into Florida. Travel warning. Yes, nice. I like to check Odyssey. Man, I feel so late now. Okay, and what else is going on? Rick Scott, the rhino from Florida, former governor, by the way. Goofy Nancy Pelosi's running her mouth. That gay nightclub thing. The gay nightclub thing. Shooting. Not the one in Florida, not the one in Orlando, Florida, from 2016, the one in 2022. What a mess. And of course, you are called a Trump. They're even going after Trump's butler, his body man, his personal aide from Guam, a Pacific Islander. I'm sorry, I thought that last month, carrying into June, going strong still, was Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This 41-year-old Walt Nauta Jr., personal aide to Trump, they're trying to attack him, trying to get Trump. Ridiculous. We're changing the world, by the way. We're pulling out so much groundwater that it's tilting Earth's axis. Explain that, flat earthers and space deniers. So all that, the Hake chat, some other mess going on in the world. And your calls, like I said, if you would like to call in. But it's 9:11 already. So anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how y'all doing? I am fine. I am wearing a handy-dandy new Santa Monica historic Route 66 t-shirt in a beautiful brown color. 100% cotton, by the way. Can it really be 100% cotton? I thought cotton was white. It must have some brown ink in it, or dye in it, or something. I think that this shirt looks excellent. So All you people comparing it to poop, you guys can keep on yapping in the chat, the snake pit. Turning it into something even worse than the snake pit. But yeah, I like it. I like it. And also I like that it has no print on the back. You want to see? I'll prove it to you. Clean on the back. Nice. Nice. So, wow. We had a rough start there, guys. Complicated business, folks. By the way, I have some beautiful Jacky music to play for you guys. Jacky Cheung. In English and Spanglish. I hope you stay tuned so that you too can enjoy. So here, let's get started. It's 9:13. Let's get to the Tuesday equivalent of clip 11, guys. Clip 21. Here's Sadiq Khan, the Muslim mayor. London mayor. London's mayor is an Englishman named Sadiq Khan. He's an Englishman, guys. Nice English name. Not. Nice Christian English name. Not. Okay, so here are his NPC claims. He tweeted this out. I'll show you the tweet. This city, I presume that he's talking about the city of London, Sadiq Khan, was built by migrants, by refugees, in the face of hostile, draconian, and immoral. What are you talking about with immoral? You're not even a Christian. Shout out to the Muslims. Are there moral Muslims? Yes, of course, right? Not this one, though. He's an SJW type of Muslim. He's one of those liberals. 60% of the Muslims, plus, maybe more than that, in America, vote Democrat. Demon rat. Did you know that? Oh, they're naturally conservative. Not. Naturally anti-white and anti-Christian. Anyway, shout out to the Muslims. Immoral immigration process. Draconian, whatever that is. I forget what that is. Across Europe, we must... what? Hostile, draconian, and immoral immigration policies across Europe. Europe has been the most welcoming continent to other races. And they call us draconian, immoral, hostile. I'm not Europe, but we are America. But similar idea, right? White countries have been too welcoming. That's our problem. No, you want more. You're immoral, draconian, hostile. And it turns us hostile, too. Some of us are a little displeased with this anti-whiteness mess going on. Anti-freedom, anti-Christian. We must all show more compassion towards those, and he doesn't know what compassion is, fleeing their country for a safer life. Hashtag Refugee Week, he says. And so let me play this clip. It's 2 minutes and 35 seconds long. Is he entertaining? He's not a black Muslim. He is a Khan, Khan, Sadiq. Is that like Indian, or what is that guy? He's an Englishman, Hake. Well, here it is. 2.5 minutes of boring politician, NPC, far-left extremist, SJW talk. Here it is.
Just a few days ago, we saw the consequences of draconian and immoral immigration policies across Europe, when we discovered dozens of people who had died as a consequence of the Greek ship that we know about that floundered.
They overcrowded it
a few days ago.
That's not our
fault. We also
fault.
discovered that many asylum seekers, refugees, and migrants were stowed below the deck. They had no chance to escape, no chance to survive.
I like his accent.
And the reason why asylum seekers, refugees, and others are risking their lives, their children's lives, to find a safe haven is because our country and other countries in Europe, in the global north, wealthy countries who prospered from these countries where people are coming from over centuries,
Oh,
there's no
Lord.
safe passages. The most
Give me a break.
successful Olympian this country's ever had, a double Olympic gold medalist, Mohammed Farah, was an asylum seeker and refugee. Many
So
of us
what?
were
We don't-
asking the question, what is the most British shop on the high street?
We'll give it
Who
back.
knows that Marx, from Marks and Spencer's, was a refugee, somebody who first was seeking asylum. One of the most famous musicians, artists in the world at the moment, British North Londoner, Dua Lipa. Her parents fled Kosovo 20 or so years ago. Final thing I want to say to you is this: look, I won the golden ticket. I won the lottery because I was born in London.
Anchor baby.
But my grandparents were refugees. They left India to go to
no.
Pakistan when the
Okay.
British Empire decided to carve up India. So if you're a Muslim and you're living in India, you had to seek asylum to Pakistan, where people were more Muslim than they were Hindu. My parents were migrants who came to this country, but I always had the humility to realize that I
Humility?
could have been born somewhere else. We've got to educate people about
That's not
why this
humility.
country is great, why this city is the greatest city in the world, and the history of
man.
immigration, asylum seekers, and refugees. Have a great refugee week. And as long as I'm
The
there,
music in the background.
London is open, and you are welcome.
London is open and you're welcome. With orange heart things over there. Oof. British subjects. And as based Tucker Carlson said, before you start, Dua Lipa is not a black singer, known for her song Levitating. Whoa. I don't care. Send her back anyway. I don't care about a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Psh. He can go back if he's gonna be used to further pollute the values of the country. Human beings do pollute. It's not dehumanizing to accuse human beings of polluting, because we don't humanize refugees. We welcome them to go home. This community notes context, because this guy claimed in a tweet the city was built by migrants, by refugees. Community notes on Twitter, it's now known as context. Context. The city of London was founded around the year 50 AD. 50 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. That is 1,977 years ago, or something like that, roughly. Something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know math. I do, but I don't feel like doing mental math. I get stage fright. My brain freezes up for doing mental math. No, I think it's just a mental block. 50 AD, that's a long time ago, almost 2,000 years ago. It was built up over nearly, it was built up over nearly 2,000 years by people we today call the English. It was not built by migrants/refugees, but by those native to the British Isles, the native British. Nice. Just like America was built by us, well, not me. I don't know if I built a little bit. The Native American whites, white Americans, Anglos. Not me. The forefathers, right? And it says, and it links to cityoflondon.gov.uk and Britannica.com, place London, and it links to reliable sources, supposedly. London, England. But this guy wants to act like getting a couple Olympic gold medals and making a cool song like Dua Lipa did and that other guy, Mohammed something Farah or whatever. Like those people are building. They're not building, they're just accomplishing things for themselves and for the enjoyment of others, right? The ego pleasure of others. That's not built. Yeah, it's nice. Whatever. But anyway, he's a liberal. I do like his accent. I do like his accent. He looks small. Yeah. That guy, Sadiq Khan. He's always been a liberal. An evil person. With these NPC language stuff. I don't know if he's an NPC or if he's trying to lead the NPCs. It's not dehumanizing to call people NPCs, even though old Twitter, liberal Twitter, had the TJ from the UK has a better accent, says everything is fake. Yeah, I agree. The British accent sounds like soft hands, says Matthew. Terrible. So anyway. Wolves in sheep's clothing, and they're not even friends of the migrants and Muslims, because they're acting like we're to blame for that migrant boat sinking, or the Europe is to blame, like the prime minister, the supposed center-right, which is probably pretty liberal, prime minister of Greece who was recently reelected. They tried to act like it was his fault that this boat sank with 300 Pakistani wannabe refugees came in. And they're economic refugees, which is not refugees, by the way. A real refugee has to do with war or political persecution, right? Am I right? I think. Terrible. And he wants to bring up hundreds of years. If the British were able to profit off of those lands, maybe those people in those lands are able to profit off those lands without having to come over here. There are so many opportunities where you are that you don't take advantage of if you're honest with yourself, I think. Or you're blind to. I will get to your super chats, guys. I do see them coming in, at least one, maybe two. I do appreciate that. Here's another English male, and I use the term male instead of man. Elton John, not to be confused with Jacky Cheung. Who would you rather have coming to America? Elton John, the Englishman, foreigner, or Jacky Cheung, based CCP, Chinese Communist, Chi-Com, based Chi-Com. Is he a Chi-Com? Maybe. I can only assume. Hong Kong born, though. Old Hong Kong born. So it's almost British. I say that because Jacky Cheung, this Chinese singer whose music I've been playing off and on lately over the past couple of months, he sings some epic sort of emotional songs, kind of like Elton John does. Elton John, talented singer-songwriter type of a guy, right? But he's not morally straight. So he's not, I guess he's boycotting the United States of America, according to this Epoch Times, or Epoch is what it looks like. But I learned from the great Bill Lockwood on his show a few years ago that it's pronounced Epoch Times. I even looked it up to confirm, because I was like, is it really Epoch Times? Not epic, epoch. Epic is different. Who would ever confuse Elton John with Jacky Cheung? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So this guy, he wears his typical sunglasses guy. He's a little, he's not coming to USA because of these anti-LGBTQ state laws. The states are coming up with these laws and the feds are imposing on them, and so are the federal so-called judges imposing a baby-killing abortion and pro-radical LGBTIQ evil perverted agenda, perverse agenda, perverted or perverse, same thing, right? I think similar anyway. They're both that agenda on the states, on the people, on the kids, and on the society. He's not coming there. And Epoch Times says he has no plans to perform again in the U.S. due to a growing number of anti-grooming laws. Interesting. Interesting way to put it. Is that how he calls it? Anti-grooming laws? That's too many anti-grooming laws. I'm not going over there. Says the Epic Times. Normally they're pretty fair in their reporting. Is that fair? It kind of is, to be honest, because I think he's living with some dude that he calls a husband. Gross. Oof. And I think that they have something like what they call their children, or a child or something. I think I learned that because remember that perverted brand that gal who has that messed up situation with her body going on right now? Celine Dion. She advertised for new, or maybe just new. Maybe I feel like I should disavow it. I feel like I'm doing an incantation. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. Remember that black and white fashion brand called New that was blurring the genders between boys and girls? This is several years ago. I've covered it at least twice. I feel like he might have had this Elton John feller might have dressed his adopted kids or whatever kids they are, whose ever kids they are, in those clothes. So do many celebrity types, Hollywood celebrity types, sickos. So, no plans to perform. Well, good thing we have your recording so we can play what are his songs? Tiny Dancer or something like that. Rocket Man or something. We can just play that stuff. We shouldn't be supporting him anyway. Oh, yeah, he's going through a farewell tour. No plans to perform. Due to the country's growing swell of anger and so-called homophobia. Anger is accurate. There's growing anger on many sides. Growing evil on many sides. Is he part of that? I would have to assume. Look at that earring. Oh, he has an earring on his ear. That's girly. That's according to what the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road musician, whatever that is. No, I think it's a song. It's probably one of his classics. I don't know. I grew up on Christian music. Thank God. Supposedly Christian. In an interview he gave to Radio Times, he noted what he described as a growing number of anti-grooming laws. Did he really describe it as anti-grooming? They don't put that in quotes. Being passed in states including Florida, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, North Dakota, South Dakota, specifically singled out Florida's laws, calling them disgraceful. Florida has, Elton John is 76 years old. Shouldn't he be overcoming his stuff by 76? I guess some people never grow out of that mess. He wears it on the right ear, too. Oh, no. You know what the right ear means? Oh, don't do that, kids. Gentlemen. It's been a fixture in the cultural lives of both Brits and Americans since the 70s with his string of top 10 hits, still played over the radio airwaves to this day. It's going all pear-shaped in America. That's rich of him to call somebody pear-shaped. No, I don't know what his shape is. He doesn't look particularly in shape. British people are the fattest people in the world besides Americans. Maybe even fatter than Americans, I hear. And I wonder if that has to do with immigration. Or if it's just the whites getting fat, too. In the South, there's a lot of fat people. Both the blacks and the whites and the Mexicans. We seem to be going backwards, and that spreads. It's like a virus that the LGBTQ movement is suffering. No, I don't think you're suffering really from that. You're suffering maybe to the overreaction, angry, hate-filled kindness towards the Christians and the sensible people who don't go along with your mess. And you're suffering from your own embracing of evil, man. March 2022, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed House Bill 1557, Parental Rights and Education, which I think that prevented classroom instruction, according to this. 1557, so-called sexual disorientation and gender misidentity in kindergarten through third grade. And then they expanded it. Did you know that? They expanded it all the way through high school, I think. So right on, Florida. Right on. That's cool. Not age appropriate for students. How about not appropriate for society? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I mean, it's indecent exposure. It's vulgar. Florida's Senate Bill 1580, Protections of Medical Conscience, signed into law by DeSantis, based Ron DeSantis. I use the term loosely. May 11th, going into effect July 1st, which is this Saturday, by the way. Wow, rapidly approaching. Says so-called health care providers and payers have the right to opt out of participation in or payment for certain so-called health care services on the basis of conscience-based objections. So, you know, Florida, these Florida laws probably don't go far enough. And some of them are like an overreaction, or the Republicans don't really know how to fight. They get hyped up on the transgender thing, but ignore the illegal aliens. They ignore the gay thing because they feel like they lost the fight against the gay agenda, and so they're only fighting against the transgender agenda, and it's a mess. Iceni Norfolk says, find a picture of his 50th birthday party, Hake? Are you talking about this Elton John fellow? That sounds like a tip I would not like to pursue. I don't know, but I would not like to pursue it. Somebody else can do that, but kids don't bother. Ladies don't bother. And only strong-stomached men who might want to just check. Maybe he disavowed it by now. What is he, 60? I forget 76 years old now? Maybe he disavows that. Anyway, that's enough of that guy. Let's take his face down. Speaking of based Florida, based Rhino Senator Rick Scott. This should be cleanse your palate. Cleanse your palate. A rhino from Florida. Florida. No, I disavow that. That's a rapper, right? Is that a rapper? Florida? Yes, it is. Thank you, man. Clip 22, the equivalent of clip 12. This was quote tweeted. I have actually a screenshot of this Rick Scott tweet, and is being quote tweeted. Reaction about Florida communists in Florida. Judd Legume. Oh, Legum. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. He's a liberal. He's a Twitter liberal, maybe a journalist type of guy. I'm not even sure. But I've seen his face around, or this profile pic. A United States senator, quote unquote, warns people who disagree with him politically not to travel to his state. Shameful. And so based Scott for Florida tweeted, I'm warning socialists and communists not to travel to Florida. They are not welcome in the Sunshine State. I'm getting confirmation. Do not look at Elton John's 50th birthday party pictures. Okay? Do not. Confirmation, do not. So, but anyway, going back to based Senator Rick Scott, and I use the term very loosely, facetiously, I can't even pronounce words. Facetiously, I say based. Some people say, hey, what's up, Asmodor? Nice to see you over there. What is up, Rumble chat? Nexit 2023. Nice to see ya. I'm glad you guys found me. Yeah. I got to show this clip because this is so. He's saying, I'm warning socialists and communists not to travel to Florida. They're not welcome in the Sunshine State. So that's strong words in the tweet. And then hear how it comes out in his recorded video. He does a little like cameo. You can get a cameo from JLP, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Should Hake set up a cameo and start doing shout outs? Maybe I will. That'd be cool. Do you do cameos, Hassan?
I don't, but I think you should, because then you could do like shout out to
Nice. Yeah.
whoever it is.
Maybe I will. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I would have to start checking my emails. I would have to be more Nazi, meaning strict. I disavow Nazis. I don't know anything about them, but I disavow that. Like Trump disavows Proud Boys. But I'd have to be more strict about checking my emails. But anyway, here's Senator Rick Scott, not to be confused with Tim Scott. They're both rhinos, in my opinion. We do have a picture of Rick Scott over here with JLP standing together. They're friends, or were friends back in the day. But Rick Scott's so nice looking. Even though he's bald white men can sometimes be based. But this guy, we'll listen to how friendly and soft and nice he is, talking about socialists and communists. At first he says they're not welcome. I warn them not to travel here. And then hear how it comes out when he's talking to the camera about it. Hear how nice Rick Scott is. Here.
Senator Rick Scott here. Let me give you a travel warning. If you're a socialist, communist, somebody that believes in big government, I would think twice. Think twice if you're thinking about taking a vacation or moving to Florida. We're the free state of Florida. We actually don't believe in socialism. We actually know people, and some people in our state lived under it, and we know people lived under socialism. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. So if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about coming to Florida and you're a socialist or communist, think twice. We like freedom, liberty, capitalism, things like that.
Isn't that nice? How can you hate that guy? Except people naturally kind of hate weakness. Evil people hate weakness. We like freedom, capitalism, things like that. Just think twice. Think twice. He said think twice, and before that, I'm warning you. After that, I guess, because he tweeted it after he recorded it, obviously, I think. I'm warning socialists and communists, they're not welcome. No. I, for one, will say socialists and communists, you are welcome on the Hake report. As long as we, the real Americans, are we real Americans? I don't know. We, the Native Americans, the Christians, the whites, since we're a minority in the country and the world, seemingly, and much oppressed, we welcome you guys until we get enough of a majority that we can kick you guys out and say, not welcome. I'm doing the gesture of showing I don't want to stretch out my shirt, but I want to show you the non-existent tattoo. I disavow tattoos, even on my chest. Not welcome. You know what this means? Not welcome. But no, you're welcome. And this guy, this Judd Legume says, beta way of saying it. Yeah, exactly, Big Bump. A United States senator warns people who disagree with him politically not to travel to his state. Shameful. And he did warn them on the Twitter thing, whoever wrote for his Twitter, but he talked about it so nicely. Think twice about it. We love freedom here. It's not just a political disagreement. It's like you guys are anti-American. You people who are running the country. That was not very threatening, James. Tattoos are lame, says Max Rex. Do you guys know what I'm referencing? Some of you guys already know what I'm referencing. That movie that I didn't like, American History X. Edward Norton is wearing a wife beater or something like that. You know, the A-shaped shirts? Tank top, white tank top thing. And he shows a tattoo of that peace and wholeness symbol. That Hindu peace and wholeness symbol. The swastika. But it's also a Nazi symbol. which means to him, not welcome to his mother's Jewish boyfriend, because he didn't like that. But anyway, no, you can call in. You can call into Hake. You can be in the chat, I guess. I call it the snake pit. Like I say, liberals are communists. And anyone who's, JLP said, anybody with anger is a socialist. You're a socialist. You want to control people. You want to give them their freedom. You don't want to give them their freedom. You want to pretend like you're giving them freedom by giving them money, other people's money. By the way, I disavow. Get yours, if you like. Gotta sell my stuff. What would Jesus do? Jesus wouldn't sell stuff. Well, I think he probably sold stuff. If he was a woodworker, meaning a carpenter, or according to based Bill O'Reilly. I use the term loosely, but I like him. He was a stone cutter. So this old wives' tale or biblical account of him being a carpenter, or translation of him being a carpenter, stone cutter, according to Bill O'Reilly. But that's, if you're going to get in a fight about whether he was a stone cutter or a carpenter or whatever, then you're getting carried away into the wrong things. That's like arguing over Jesus. Jesus was not white. Jesus was black. Jesus was olive-skinned. Jesus was blonde-haired and blue eyes. Dumb. Some of you guys I encourage to wait until White History Month to call in, you communists and socialists and people. If you have anger, you're a liberal, socialist. If you don't have anger, you're a conservative and based and a man. Nice, right? And Rick Scott's so weak and soft, I think. I'm pretty sure. But he can't help it. He just can't help it. Look at his face. Let's make fun of somebody else for now. Goofy Nancy Pelosi. Nervous Nancy Pelosi. I thought she was gone. I thought she was out of the picture. Now, I knew she was still alive, right? We wish her well. Nervous Nancy, according to ALX on Twitter. Remember, she retired, and so now Kevin McCarthy is the new Speaker of the House. She was Speaker of the House under Obama, under Trump, under many things. A woman. Not even a normal Christian woman. I think she's purportedly Catholic, like Italian or something like that. And so you people saying, oh, Jesus is portrayed as white. There was this Jesus movie from 2000 made by Italians, and they made Jesus look Italian. That's not normal white. That's not even white, really. It's sort of white. Whatever. We still love you. We love non-whites. We love Italians and Irish and Jewish people. But it's not normal white. Nancy Pelosi is asked in this clip 23, the equivalent of clip 13, plowing through the clips. We're not really plowing. We're like 45 minutes in. Had a late start because of the messed up audio at the beginning of the false start stream. And I was giving you guys so much information. I was giving you gold. Nervous Nancy Pelosi is asked if the ongoing Biden scandal, I think they're talking about Hunter Biden. This is from Fox. I think it's a Fox News clip. Faux news. Does the ongoing Biden scandal, I don't even know anything about this scandal. I've heard that it involves Hunter, right? Where's Hunter? And she replies something about Republicans not letting this reporter who's asking her the question, a female reporter, gal, have abortions. Because it's a woman, it's a female. And Nervous Nancy Pelosi is assuming her gender. Nah. So it's like two segments during their walking together from walking in the hallway to walking into the elevator. 21 seconds of their 2 segments of this conversation. 21 seconds. Go. Here it is.
If the president says he never talked about business,
They have work to do to save women from a very destructive Republican Party in this House. You should be worried about that.
When is this? When was
does
this?
any of this
old?
bother you, Speaker Pelosi?
Thank
What
you.
bothers me are the Republicans standing in the way of your reproductive freedom.
I think this must be an old clip. It was circulating on Twitter from ALX. ALX circulated it on Twitter. Speak for yourself. On what, eh? Quit lumping in the Irish with the Jews and the Italians, dang it. Fair enough, Mina. It's the whites versus the non-whites, or the fellow whites and the somewhat marginal whites and the POCs. We just like dividing. If we were all whites together, we would be divided. If we were looking at family, we're all divided. Even in yourself, you're divided. So do I owe you an apology? I'm sorry, Jews, for lumping you in with the Irish. I'm sorry, Irish, for lumping you in with the Jews. And Italians, you guys can fend for yourselves. You're tough. Please. I'm doing very important work saving the women from destructive Republican policies that make them have babies, and sometimes women die from having babies. Did you know that? And they do get injured from all that mess. Sometimes. They also get injured from killing the babies. And then they also sear their conscience. And yes, I was thinking about this debate that I had, speaking of abortion. I had that debate on, is it moral to have abortion or something like that? The morality of abortion on Modern Day Debate. Shout out to Modern Day Debate. I debated against Radical Coder and his female friend, Ashley XOXO. And on my side was this leftist gal who was pro-life. She was like a pro-life Antifa. Pro-life, but Antifa. But maybe not violent Antifa. Although she is a woman, so women do oftentimes be violent. But she's a mother. Well, mothers can be violent too. I don't know much about her, but I know that she's a liberal, very liberal. Black Lives Matter, radical homosexual supporting, but pro-life. Or at least anti-abortion, she calls it, I think. And they all agreed that women don't regret killing their babies in the womb. 90-something% of women do not regret it. And they did it a survey, 10-year survey. 10 years is not long enough. 10 years is not long enough to measure whether women regret abortion. You live longer than 10 years after your fertile years. Most of the time, women get abortions in their, 30s, 20s, teens, around there. Maybe sometimes 40s. You're still a young, dumb, immature woman. Shout out to the young, dumb, immature women. You're still maybe more mature than Hake, but that doesn't matter. Still young, dumb, and immature, irregardless, which is not a word, of you're thinking that you're more mature than Hake. That doesn't matter, okay? Objectively, you know you're immature still. You know you're young and dumb if you really are honest with yourself, if it's even possible. Ladies, and I use the term loosely. Your conscience is not going to catch up with you within 10 years of killing the babies, especially when you're answering a survey. You're not going to be honest about whether you have any regrets if you're still a dumb young liberal. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Yes, I do, tennis shoe. And I disavow that, Hake. Maybe I should disavow it too. Somebody's disavowing it in the chat. Okay, I disavow that too. Whatever. Did I say something wrong? I disavow it for the sake of my channel. Reproductive freedom, pro-choice. Reproductive freedom makes absolutely no sense says free like a bird. That's true. I know. Reproductive freedom. You know, Mark from San Diego called into my show, I believe, several years ago. A few years ago, anyway. Haven't heard from him in a bit, but he made the great point that reproductive rights, that has to do with the men. Because the men are the ones who don't have the rights to reproduce. The women decide who lives or dies. I decide who lives or dies, said that kid in that TV series Pretender, I feel like. And that's what I think of, these women playing God and being kissed up to as if they're the God of over the lives of the unborn babies, which are the men's babies, not their babies. And Matthew says it's illegal to kill, to be honest. Yeah, unless it's a justified killing. And I don't see how you can justify most killings of unborn babies. Hake, you're an ugly fat woman. And also, Hake, shout out to the ugly fat women. Yes, you can talk about the person like a dog and then shout out to them. Because we love everybody. We're supposed to anyway. If we want to love anybody, we should love everybody. Here's your reproductive freedom, says C.J. O'Connell, which sounds like an Irish last name. Oops, I doxed him. Here's your reproductive freedom. Don't have sex. The S word, I mean, kids, ladies. Or else expect to have a kid. LM blank O SMH. Laughing his blank off. Shaking his head. Yeah. They've softened the word rape so much. Well, they've tried to make it hard, but they've taken softer acts and called them the R word, ape, you know? The R word that ends in ape. It used to be forcible R word, ape. But now they're calling everything the R word, ape. Keep your laws off of my private parts, they claim, they say. How about keep your private parts from being used or entered to kill unborn babies that you willingly make, evil women? Shout out to the evil women. Terrible. Crazy stuff. And Nervous Nancy pretends like she's a Catholic. She's no Catholic. I think she pretends like she's a Catholic. Kind of like Sleepy Joe. It's ridiculous. It's laughable. But I'm not laughing. Maybe other times circumstances I would laugh regarding this. Silly. But, to Hassan's point, Hassan has made the point that some of these gals are adorable. And I do find Nervous Nancy somewhat adorable, to steal Hassan's word. He thinks, and I agree, that KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, blaming people for being R-word aped. I didn't blame anybody. But yes, I would blame them. If you love them, you victim blame. But I don't, if they're sincerely innocent, there was nothing they could have done better, or there's always something you could have done better. And that's what you need to point out so that they know better the next time. Not teach them, oh, you'll never get over this in your whole entire life. Yes, you will. You can. You can anyway. With God, all things are possible. But KJP and who else? The somewhat unattractive, slightly unattractive. Let's call her slightly unattractive. Chicago former mayor, not morally straight gal, Lori Lightfoot. It's sort of adorable though. Sort of adorable. Kind of adorable, let's call her. Yes. Nervous Nancy is just kind of cute, silly. Kind of like that gal who accused Trump of the R word aping her. It doesn't even sound right saying that. The R word, ing her. Grimace birthday. You know, in the department store, Trump did that allegedly. The S-wordly abused this gal who said, she said, I think the R word, most people think the R word is the S word E. I don't know if you guys are able to comprehend what I'm trying to say without saying these words. Most people think rape is sexy. Don't say that, kids. Yes, E. Jean Carroll. She's I like watching her talk. I think that she's kind of old school, and she's onto something when she says that a lot of these gals think of the R word as the S word E. That's why sometimes they go for the more so-called manly Muslims, refugees, over the many generations of blind, brainwashed, womanizing, feminizing of males in England and Europe and elsewhere. They've softened the men in the West. It's terrible. So the women do like the R word thing somewhat, or they have these weird fantasy things. Terrible. I'm going to get off that subject. It's uncomfortable for me. We're at the top of the hour nearly, guys. I have calls to get to. I have more stories to get to. That Colorado gay club shooting. There was a sentencing that came out, and one of the victims' family put out a statement of ill will toward the convicted perpetrator. Convicted, I say, rather than alleged. I'm pretty sure, I guess, that he's guilty. I can only assume. But now is time for some Jacky. Everybody loves Jacky. How can you not love Jacky? Eat your heart out, Elton John. By the way, this is Touch of Love by Jacky Cheung. It is in English. It's in English. English. Shout out to the Asians and their accents. It's a Christmas song. Merry Christmas, Lin Yan Shin. I know you probably prefer George Lamb's Strong Man. It's a great song. But this was written by Dennis Matkowski and Ty Lacey. They're the ones who wrote I Need You by Leanne Rimes, which is a Christian pop song. Shout out to Leanne Rimes. Did you know she's a little bit younger than me? Married, quote unquote, twice. Pfft. But anyway, Jacky Cheung, Touch of Love. I hope you enjoy it. You musical Philistines, you can grin and bear it. Come on, you can do it. But you don't have to. No pressure. No worries. No worries at all. I don't judge you. You can cover your ears and sing La La La. You don't even have to tell me about it, but you can tell me about it later or now. You can go outside, shovel snow, press mute, pause, fast forward, rake your leaves, plant your garden, harvest your crops, crack the whip, get the whip cracked on you. But I'll be right back for hour 2, or the rest of hour 2. It's hour 2 now, because we got a late start. You musical Philistines, I'll be right back. Touch of Love, Jacky Cheung.
Tis the season now for gifts and giving all the love our hearts and dreams can afford. When I think about the hope that you've handed out, I wanna give back all I have and then some more. But I'm only human, I can only do so much. All the miracles we need is just one touch from me, from you, helping someone who can't make it on their own. No one wants to be alone at a time like this. Only joy should exist when the world gets too much. All we need is a touch of love. It's a touch of love. When hard times appears, when we drown in our tears, it's fading to see us through. Whatever rain on us, we can always trust the heavens say we guide us through. Yeah, we're only human, but we can all do so much. All the miracles we need is just one touch. Yeah, just one touch from me, from you, helping someone who
Hake weeping right now.
make it on their own. No one wants to be alone at a time like this. Only joy should exist, but when the world gets too much, all we need is a touch of love.
This is horrible.
You took a child
Not horrible, though.
to touch the world.
Hey, Jesus. He said it took a child.
Just think what we can do. Think of the miracle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was off key. My bag.
From you, helping someone who can't make it on their own. No one wants to be alone at a time like this. Only joy should exist when the world
Are you sure this is English?
All we need.
Can we get a fact check?
All we need is a touch of love. It's a touch of love. All I need, heaven need, is a touch of love. All I need, heaven need, is a touch of love. Love, love, it's a touch of.
You can tell it was written by the people who wrote for Leanne Rimes. Blowing the whistle. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through this beautiful music. This makes me rethink my whole life. Yeah, I thought that was good. Nice. I was thinking that you could tell that that was written by those guys who wrote I Need You for Leanne Rimes. Beautiful. I got to get to some super chats, guys, before I get to the calls. On a Rumble rant. Being enlightened till I rise writes, "Morning, Hake! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I disavow commies." Shout out to the commies. No, but seriously, get out of here, commies. We don't need ya. Even still, we love you. If we love anyone, it's the commies. Indeed, I appreciate that, being enlightened till I rise. You are a Christian. On D Live, a couple of diamonds, one from Greenwall, an early diamond from Deanwall. Greenwall, not Deanwall. Our Danish ancestors, the Danish. Hey, and he says ours because some of my ancestors were Danish. Owned the English as slaves. Based! I knew those Engrish had a slave mentality. passed down. It's in the blood. Nah, I'm playing around a little bit. But cool. Yeah, strong Danes. They call us Great Danes. We dominated those English. Unfortunately, I got some English in me, so we mixed the Dane in me mixed with the English in me, and came out with Hake. Terrible. Okay, DJ Jean-Paul with a diamond. He asked, which I read this in the chat during the beautiful song, are we sure this is English? He wrote English. Can we get a fact? Check, I think he's saying, question mark. Yeah. It said, man, what's the line from, let me click into this, because I can pull up the lyrics from Jacky on the Shazam. I have it linked, and I'll have it linked in my blog, by the way. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. I'm only human. I can only do so much. Oh, the miracles we need. Oh, no. Okay, here it is. From me, from you, helping someone who can't make it on their own. Make it on their own. No one wants to be alone at a time like this. Only joy. Never mind. But anyway, I like that line, make it on their own. It's make it on their own, Jacky, Cheung. I can tell you're an English as a second language person, or probably third language, because probably you grew up speaking Cantonese, and now you speak Cantonese Mandarin, and then you speak English, I hope is your third language. Nice. Right on, Jacky. Maybe he doesn't even speak English at all. But he does, we do hear him sometimes say, thank you. So at least he speaks thank you. Right on. Make it on their own. Apologies for the slightly off-key, or maybe a lot of off-key singing there. I tried. I didn't try hard enough, but I did try pretty hard. Thankfully, I didn't get very far, so I'm not going to commit suicide with 6 kids like Chester Bennington. On buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report, your Danos, that is, bought a coffee. Why people fake? She asks. Why? Implied is the R. People fake. Everybody and they mama. I'm reading it as it's written. She's black. She's Ethiopian, I think, or something like that. American. Everybody and they mama be faking it. Why are you making me talk black? Until they making it. It is the fat cat. Is the fat cat camping outside of Bond? Question mark. Who feeds it? Question mark. Cat emoji. Yeah. So, you guys may know I've done some walk and ramble streams and recordings that I put out, or have put out over the months, especially when I was out for those months. We're going on a year since I went out for a few months. We're going on a year. August will be a year of when that mess started. Hopefully that's out of the woods. Terrible. I was out. I had surgery. Terrible. Who feeds it? I don't know, but it seems well fed, that cat, that fat cat. Beautiful fat cat. Nice. Thank you, Jordanos. She likes cats. Everybody loves cats. Okay, not everybody. Barf Boy. I disavow that name. I should get my spittoon. He bought a coffee. I don't know if you can hear me. He bought a coffee. I don't know if you could have heard me. Vomit throw up guy. He calls himself Barf Boy. On buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report, Hake says that spaz is a slur for spastic something fibrosis or something. This is, and he quoted me as saying spastic something fibrosis or something. This is why I come to Hake for all of my medical knowledge. And yes, I capitalized the S in the word spaz because spaz lives matter. Indeed. They matter so much that the black female singer rapper ladies, for whom I use the term ladies loosely, because they are loose seeming. No, I don't know. Morally, they seem a little loose in their morals. I don't want to accuse them of sleeping around because I don't really care unless they're broadcasting that they're doing that. Some of them sort of rap about or sing about doing that, but no, that one woman is married to a very moral rapper named Jay-Z. But anyway, morally, they're a little too loosey-goosey for being Christian, you know? Anyway, they changed their whole lyrics to get rid of the spaz word. Don't say spaz, kids. It's offensive. Cool. Nice. Thank you, Two Boy. I call him Two Boy because I've never really liked that. Even as a kid, I was a mature kid. I did not like the B word for throw up. But thank you, man. I appreciate that, Barf Boy. That's cool. Thanks, as always, for your support, man. Even though I call you snarky. Okay. I feel like I'm wasting your time. Let me get to a call or two. You know, I played that clip of that adorable gal. Let's hear a little bit more about this adorable gal, Nervous Nancy Pelosi, with William in California. William, thank you for holding, man. How you doing?
How you been?
I've been fine.
On 005. You doing okay?
I am. Thanks, man.
That's good. That's good. Nancy, on a short note, you know, I don't know what church she goes to. You know, I'm Catholic, but she...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That wouldn't be a Catholic, because she said she's going to aim at abortion to get the Democrats back in power at 2600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and I don't see it happening, James.
Oh, you know, she received communion they acted like they weren't going to give her communion at the Vatican. Maybe that's her church.
Yeah, I know.
But then they gave it to her, despite her home archbishop refusing it. So her home archbishop.
That's right. Yeah.
So she went to St. Peter's Basilica, and the Pope.
Yeah, that's down in North Beach.
Oh.
That's where Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio got married. But
whoa, I didn't know that.
I don't know about her, man. She needs to worry about her husband.
Her home. Oh yeah, her husband.
Yeah, he's very sick.
Was accused of drinking and driving, and he got.
I don't know, but
he got punched by a guy some San Francisco type of a guy.
Yep.
In his home.
Yeah.
It was a strange situation. I don't know what came of that. I'm not sure if I want to know, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They speaking of Catholics, they said people were talking about in this area that it's almost best that you put your kid in a private school, because during COVID in the last couple of years they didn't drop off with reading and arithmetic.
Oh.
And it's kind of like borderline child abuse if you put your kid in a public school right now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I mean, I went to them, and they were better. They were better than the public school. They definitely weren't. I didn't go to a bad public school, but the Catholic school was much better.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. They're pushing for it to put a bill through to block all states that advocate for reparations. So it's just the first step to knocking that down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
12 senators have backed it, so it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. They got 10 months left, James. They're just panicking.
That's you're an optimist, huh?
Yes.
I respect it.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm not delusional.
Right.
But yes, you know, this young lady with the caterpillars on her eyes, snatching the mic yesterday. I said, we still talking about her.
Oh yeah, what did you call it? Okay, yeah, yes, that gal. I talked about her because I wanted to show that, indeed, that gal, the purportedly white female administrator, was not letting anybody handle the mic. She was holding it the entire time, pointing it in one direction for one person in the line, and pointing it in the other direction for the other person in the other line.
It was inappropriate.
Oh yeah, no matter what the white lady was doing, it doesn't justify.
I don't even know what I think the
black
most
guy
I did, or everybody did, was just wave at their family during graduation, and they got on out of there. It's not that kind of an occasion, you know. But yeah, it's happy Men's Week to you.
Is it Men's Week?
Yeah.
I did not know that. When
26th through the 1st.
Really? Who came up with? Where'd you hear this? Internet. I think Nick.
Right, this week.
Nick did cover National Men's Health Week, June 12th through 18th, something to that effect. Interesting.
Every day for me.
Say again?
Every day for me.
Nice. Yeah, you should be take care of your body, your temple.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Man.
But what do you have, the whole catalog of this singer you be playing?
I have so many songs. I don't even know.
You know, James, I'm going to go ahead and stay with my man in Ocala, Florida.
Ocala, Florida. Yeah. David?
Yeah, I'm going with him because he was talking about Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I'm going with that.
I like Tom Petty.
Some of Tom Petty stuff. Was that? I got lucky when I found you. Free Falling.
That's a good song. That one.
Was it Mary Jane? That one. I like that one.
Huh.
The whole thing.
He sent me a gift.
Tom Petty.
Dave in Ocala, he asked, the P.O. box here and sent me a gift. And do not send bad stuff, people, but he did not send bad stuff. He sent me a nice T-shirt that is indeed 100% cotton, and it's a size large, so I will not be.
The shirt you got right there. What is that?
This is
the shirt that you got. What is that? Route 66.
Yeah, Route 66. That's a great route. I think it goes.
Yep.
Does it go all the way across the country like the 10 does?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've never been on it, but I've always thought about doing it.
Nice.
I've always thought about doing it.
Where I went to college, the Christian college that I went to, that's on Alasta, which is Route 66, I think. Or Foothill is Route 66, I don't know. And then also over here, like Route 66 goes all the way to Santa Monica, I guess. So,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think of the color of my shirt, out of curiosity?
I like it.
Right on, man. See?
It's very, that brown thing, I dig it.
Yeah,
it's,
I think it works.
Wayne Brady-ish.
Oh, cool. Right on.
He wore a lot of, I thought this guy had about 12,000 suits that were brown.
Nice. Brown's a good color for a suit for a white man, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But, just checking in with you, man.
Appreciate it.
Like I said, 10 more months, everybody. All of this stuff that's going on is getting ready to stop.
10 more months. Is that
normal?
What is 10 months? I'm confused.
Well, how many months till election?
Oh.
14.
Okay.
Something like that.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
It ain't that long.
Yeah.
It ain't that long.
A lot can happen.
And a lot is happening.
Yeah, true.
A lot is happening, and they don't like it. They're uncomfortable. So
yeah.
It's about the end. It's about the end.
Cool. I'll believe it when I see it, honestly. But
yeah, I get what you're saying, though, James, because they do so much.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah, indeed. I say that I concur with what JLP has said, that no matter what's going on in the world, you can have the kingdom of heaven within. You can have heaven on earth, because you are your world. You don't have to be bothered by all the evil in the world. You can still deal with it and all that, but still not be bothered within by it.
I find that you can still be an impact and do your thing and move on.
Nice. Cool, man. Appreciate the call, man.
All right. Take care.
You as well. Nice call from William from California, right? Right? William is just being nice about that shirt. It looks like you wiped back to front with it, says a DJ on pod. I don't care what you say. Hake looking like Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady looks like me. Oh, no, he might be older than me. Wayne Brady. 51? Wayne Brady. The black one? 51. Okay. Here, I was thinking about Tom Brady. Whatever. Anyway. Hake is ignorant. Okay. Let's talk about this attack on the gays. This was wrong. Remember that gay club shooting in Colorado? Was I back by that point, or was I still out at that point? It happened in November of 2022. I was coming back from my recovery. Not alcoholic recovery. Not drug recovery. It was... I was out for months. But anyway, this is from Hake News. I mentioned it in Hake News. I don't think I have any pictures from this. Call Me Nonsense Network, CNN reported today, Tuesday, the 27th of 2023 AD, a quote. They share a quote. We hope he never has a day of peace. Oh, no, we hope he never has another day of peace, they said. That's what the family said. The family of Derrick Rump, D-E-R-R-I-C-K, Rump. Rump? What? But anyway, that's the last name. Who was among those killed in the so-called Club Q massacre. The Q does not stand for cute. The Q may stand for something not good, as in strange, as in not right. In Colorado Springs, Colorado. And that's what they stated in an audio recording that they played at this sentencing. Courts have become like a soapbox for liberals to be self-righteously evil towards purportedly evil conservatives in this case, or anti-gays. In this case, this was a liberal who was anti-gay, because he must have had anger. So he's a liberal, socialist. Anderson Lee Aldrich, if indeed this guy is guilty of doing this mass murder, 23 years old. Sentencing of this 23-year-old mass murderer, shooter, they call him shooter, born Nicholas Franklin Brink. Did you guys know about this? I might have missed it. He was sentenced yesterday, to 5 consecutive life sentences. Without the possibility of parole for the 2022 attack on the LGBTQ club. Okay, so Colorado Springs nightclub shooting. Per Wikipedia, because I use approved sources, right? So so-called gay bar in Colorado Springs, Colorado. United States. Thomas Jefferson did not capitalize the United, I heard, the U in United, when he called it United States, because he described the states as being united. They're no longer united. Only united by evil, Darth. 5 people were murdered, 25 others injured, assaulted and battered, allegedly, convictedly. 19 of them by gunfire. The shooter, murderer, alleged, convicted murderer. Nowadays, convicted doesn't mean that you did it, but he probably did it. I believe that he did it. 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich was also injured while being restrained. Don't hurt him. Just kidding. Taken to a local hospital. He was charged and remanded in custody. He pleaded guilty or pled guilty. Is it pled or pleaded guilty? I don't know. On June 26th, 2023 AD, which was yesterday. That day he pleaded guilty, and he was also sentenced the same day? Okay. To life in prison without possibility of parole, 5 life sentences or whatever, plus 2,211 years. Why so many extra years? 2,211 years. I don't know why so many added years, but my suspicion is, this evil thing called hate crimes. We should abolish hate crimes legislation, because he should get, either life sentence or the death penalty for murder. Because that's what you should get. Life sentence or death penalty for murder, I think. Especially like a real intentional murder like this seemed to be. According to reports, anyway. That club opened in 2002 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. A few years after that 4/20/99 shooting. Remember that? 4/20/1999? I don't know how close Colorado Springs is to Aurora? I forget where. Where that those trenchcoat mafia guys shot up the school. Colorado Springs is Colorado's second most populous city with a population of just under 500,000. They went there for so-called drag performances, dance parties, drinks, degenerate stuff, Shooting occurred on the evening before, the so-called Transgender Day of Remembrance. I chuckle just because such drama. They're such drama queens. I laugh with you, not at you. Shout out to the degenerates. Shout out. We love degenerates, if we love anybody. We disavow degeneracy, but we love degenerates. But we disavow degeneracy, but we love degenerates, if we love anybody. Introduced in 1994, 24 years ago. They called it annual. TDOR, Transgender Day of Remembrance. November 20th. So November 19th, 2022 is when that thing did. That thing. Memorialize those who've been murdered as a result of so-called transphobia. Oh, Lord. I say, oh, Lord. Founded in 1999. 1994? 1999. I misread it. 1994. By a small group, including... Okay, whatever. I don't know. They're not telling the whole story with that stuff. I'll tell you that much. Because they can't tell the whole story. They're not about the real truth. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this guy, the Perp. Okay? The Perp. Let's talk about the Perp's life a little bit. So, this man, male, grown adult male, Anderson Lee Aldrich. Can you, search up a picture of him? I feel remiss in not having a picture of him. A photograph of him? The perpetrator who did this? Anderson Lee Aldrich. Aldrich. Hassan, if you can Google up a picture of him. Hassan? Anderson Lee Aldrich. Not to be confused with Paul Aldrich, a Christian comedian. Anderson Lee Aldrich, 22-year-old resident of Colorado Springs. Now he's 23. Who was born Nicholas Franklin Brink in the year 2000. Whoa. In San Diego, California, to Aaron Brink, a former pornographic film actor and mixed martial arts fighter, and born also to Laura Vopel, daughter of Randy Vopel, an outgoing member of the California State Assembly and a former mayor of Santee, California. Vopel and Brink separated and divorced 1 year after Aldrich's birth. So he had a messed up life and a messed up father. Whew. while Vopel went on to receive custody over Aldrich. So the mother got custody? Terrible. No wonder he turned into a killer, allegedly, or convictedly, reportedly. Her tumultuous life included multiple arrests and so-called mental health evaluations, resulted in this Aldrich, Anderson Lee Aldrich, supposed fellow, Nicholas Franklin Brink, being cared for by Vopel's mother and stepfather, who eventually became Aldrich's legal guardians. He was a Mormon, Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints in San Antonio, Texas. Not been involved for at least a decade. So had those Mormons been able to bring him back into the fold, he might not have done that shooting, because Mormons don't do stuff like that. They grew up to be rhinos. Sometimes. Did you were able to find any pictures of this guy? Anderson Lee Aldrich, Aldrich. I want to see his face. His attorneys have said in court documents that their client identifies as so-called non-binary and uses so-called they-them pronouns. What? Preferring to be addressed as MX Aldrich. What? So they called it a hate, didn't they call it a hate crime on anti-LGBTQ? I guess that doesn't include N for non-binary, or NB. I don't know. Yeah, Columbine was the other one, yeah. But neighbors alleged him to have made hateful comments toward the LGBT plus community in the past. But don't the LGBT community people express hatred for the so-called LGBT community? Don't blacks express hatred for blacks? Don't often whites express hatred for whites? Oh, you found, that's him? Not to be confused with based Kyle, Jack Bauer, John Wick Rittenhouse. This is fatter, more out of shape. He looks like he could be, slightly androgynous, sort of feminine, slow T type of a guy. Poor guy. I don't know. I don't know his life. Who is that behind him? Who's that with him? Is that his mother? Is his mom? She could be my age. If he was born in the year 2000 and she had him at 18, I don't know when she had him, what age she was. Self-hatred. People say self-hatred. If you hate other people who are the same thing as you, you're hating other people. It's not hating yourself. But yes, you do hate this, or you're a hate-filled person. You're dissatisfied. Wow, he's a big young fella. Doesn't he look like a big young fella? I'm looking at him, and I guess this is court. What an unattractive court. I like old school courts like you see in movies where it's attractive. A lot of natural light, windows, a lot of nice woodwork, not this particle board, box mess, and panel walls, and fluorescent lights. Man, come on, so unattractive. So soul-killing. I don't know if it's soul-killing. Records indicate Aldrich was a target of online bullying that include so-called homophobic taunts while in middle school. See, he looks like he might have been not the most masculine guy, we'll say. Wow, nice job, Hassan. I appreciate you finding these pictures. To me, it really adds to... the picture of the person adds a lot of context that no amount of words can suffice. Especially Hake's words, with Hake's limited vocabulary and limited ability to describe stuff. Never mentioned being so-called non-binary prior to the shooting. I know, but neither did that guy. Neither did... What's that guy who exposed secrets about the U.S. military bombing civilians or something like that? And then he called himself Chelsea Manning. Bradley Manning changed into Chelsea Manning after the fact so he could go to... Well, I read it as so he could go to women's prison. But I don't know. Maybe he does really seem that effeminate. He just seems committed. Terrible. Or she, it, whatever you're supposed to say. I don't know, for the sake of my channel. So experts in online extremism have voiced the possibility Aldrich's proclaimed self-identification could be disingenuous. Yeah, while the Center for Countering Digital Hate, has advised using they and them pronouns for Aldrich and also acknowledging the suspect's past actions and impact on the so-called LGBTQ plus community. Is that him? Whoa, that's him? They captured him? Look at him in the ring picture. Oh, man. Oh, fat. Shout out to the fat people. Wow, imagine if that tank pulled up to it's not a tank, but big old militarized police truck thing in this beautiful suburban neighborhood thing, Colorado, I guess. Maybe the air was too thin. He doesn't get enough air to his brain. That's a joke. I mean, he did grow up in San Antonio. I don't know. But no, totally. I mean, think about these people in the alt-right, some of the most vicious or, the so-called alt-right. It doesn't call it that anymore. But, that's a cool drawing. Makes him look manlier. I bet you he likes that artist's impression. The photograph, he looks more effeminate versus the court artist. Looks like the exact... What, the court artist just copied a photograph or what? The court artist is supposed to do it if cameras are not allowed. I don't get what's going on here. But a lot of the Jewish people are some of the most openly, brazenly criticizing of Jewish people. Have you noticed that? JLP openly criticizes freely the blacks. Because there's no, I'm an outsider. I don't have the right to talk about my fellow human beings because I'm not that group, so I don't have the right to talk about. Stupid. Don't say stupid, kids. Too much. Anyway. So he might have totally been that, either whether it's disingenuous or not. So yeah, though, messed up life. And they're not honest about it. They want to pretend, they want to start blaming the Christians or something. Whoa, who's that? Is that the dad? That's the dad. He looks so much more manly and masculine. And the guy has, like, it could, maybe prison will build some masculinity in him. I don't know. He'll exercise, maybe. Trim down. I'm glad he's not gay, says the father of the accused shooter. And this guy's, what I read to you, and according to Wikipedia, which it's a shame to kind of repeat this guy's past, but he was a former dirty video actor. I almost call him dirty video actress, but he's a male. And then he turned into an MMA type of fighter guy. And then for some reason the wife didn't take his last name, or actually they divorced a year after he was born. What a mess. What a mess. Terrible. Well, evil in the world, evil fighting evil. And then the evil people blame stuff that's right. Like Christianity and like not going along with this gay agenda. All the wrong solutions to the problems that evil causes. Terrible. Terrible. It's, man, they have these, okay, let me respond to this a little bit. This young male that we were just showing had no peace in his life. And that's why he shot the people, allegedly, convictedly, reportedly. And I believe it. And so this evil family of the young man who, I assume it was a man, young man, Derek Rump. I'm assuming that's a man. I don't know. Don't want to misgender. They say, we hope he never has another day of peace. Though his lack of peace is why he killed your son, idiots. Don't say idiots, kids. And shout out to the victims' families. We wish them well. But the blindness of the angry people with vengeance in their hearts towards, rather than justice, towards this young male who convictedly did this murder, 23-year-old mass murderer, at this gay nightclub. He lacked peace, and your false solution is throwing him in prison and never giving him peace, or hoping that he never has another day of peace. That's not gonna, that'll teach. That sounds like ill will. That ill will is what caused the murder in the first place. Reminds me of these anti-gun people who get all emotional and angry at the pro-gun people, and the pro-gun people get emotional and angry at the anti-gun people too sometimes. But they're like, anger causes mass murders and murders most of the time. Anger is what does it. And their solution is an anger-motivated taking away of the rights of the free and decent people, such as the NRA, gun owners, and people who want to carry and own awesome guns, who would never do this. They will prove in their lives never to do something like that. It's so silly. Anger was what caused it, and your solution is an angry solution. Evil, emotional, fake intellectual, female-minded, liberal male solution. I know. It's literally in Ancestry.com. Spoiler alert, looked up the last name Rump, meaning English, Norfolk. Nickname for a person with a large behind. And that's from Ancestry.com. I disavow Ancestry.com, but I think that may be real news. Poor Derek Rump. Rest in peace, man, if you can hear me. And Derek Rump's family who recorded this, we hope he never has a day of peace. And CNN broadcasting this. Ill will. Don't have ill will towards murderers. So, not that you want to wish for him to have peace, but just leave him to the Lord or to Satan or whatever, whoever owns him. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? What else is evil is this. Trump aide Walt Nauta. I do have pictures of this young man. He's about my age, a little younger. Walt Nauta. 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 Walt. Nice name. I have pictures of him from 2008, and he's a personal aide. This morning he was supposed to be arraigned in this classified documents case against Trump. And this man, look at this young man. He doesn't look guilty of anything. I mean, he's American, by the way. He's not even an immigrant. He was born in Guam. Guam may tip over, I heard. But thankfully it did not tip over on Walt Nauta because he grew up there in Guam, an American territory. It's not just Puerto Rico. Guam is way the heck out that away, I want to say. This away. Way out past Hawaii. Guam is better than Hawaii. No, I don't know. Maybe it is. Doesn't he look like mixture of black and Pacific Islander, Asian type of thing? This Walt Nauta Jr. Based Waltine. It's not Walter, Waltine. Torre. Torre. Nauta Jr. Personal aide. Butler, body man. I don't know if he was a butler to Trump, but he was Trump's body man. His gopher. A Navy veteran, by the way. This is him in 2008, being a Navy man. Joined the Navy, but not that kind of Navy, the good kind of, well, I don't know, 40 to 41 years old, charged alongside our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. I think I read this in Hake News. I did. In the Jesse Lee Peterson show, for the alleged mishandling of classified documents. Some of you guys don't like when I do that. And so I'm traumatized into not doing that so much. From the black on the from the white on the inside White House. When Trump was there, because he was white-hearted. He was expected, he did not end up being arraigned, I guess, because I think his lawyer showed up and he didn't show up. At least that's the news that I saw at like 6 or 7 in the morning today. My time. Expected to plead not guilty to several charges or various charges, 6 charges, in a Miami federal court this morning. Nauta faces 6 charges, including several obstruction of, how can it be several if it's 6 charges? 6, I guess you could call it several, but the mainstream media, I don't know how long this has been the case. Maybe evil is still real, or evil is real, or Barf Boy can correct me. Several used to mean like 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe. It didn't used to mean more than 2 or more than 3. But when you look it up on the dictionary, which is fake news, that's a side note anyway. So-called several, quote unquote several, obstruction and concealment related charges stemming from the alleged conduct. His lawyer Stanley Woodward showed up without him. So, show other pictures of this guy. He looks like a total Chad. No wonder Trump likes him. Look at him. There he is, smiling with people in the 2008. He was in somewhere overseas, Middle East somewhere or something. I don't know. It's not important. Kabul, Afghanistan. But look at him. Dang. What a Chad. Like a Filipino Hispanic. Yeah, totally. Something not normal white. Maybe partly a little bit white. So, right on, man. He looks like Trump would like him. Trump likes those non-whites. You sound like Scooby-Doo, Hake. Yeah. So they're going after this guy just to get at Trump. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show pictures of him. This is the man. CNN did not acknowledge that this guy is Guamese or whatever you're Guamish. What do they call Guam guys? Guam men. Several equals 6 plus, right? 6 to 7, something like that. It says Jim Bro Slice. Well, thank you, man. So anyway, that's the story on him. What a Chad. I know he's not white, but non-whites can be Chads too. Right? I think. Shout out to the non-whites and the non-Chads. Let me get to a call here before we wrap up. Joel Friday is going to be coming up, guys. Joel Friday TV. I have another Jacky song to play, Spanglish, and of course American Anchor Baby later at noon Pacific time. Guamanian. Dustin is a first-time caller out of Houston, Tejas. Dustin, thanks for calling and holding. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Hey, I just called, I didn't appreciate your little boom after my super chat. I was a wild witness.
Oh, hey, thanks for calling, man. Dustin in Houston, Texas. He's Wild's witness. And JLP responded to a super chat on the JLP show. And JLP asked a question, meaning like he didn't understand something. And I was like, boom, in your face, Wild's witness. And it had something to do with
take sides.
Right, I totally took sides. And JLP wasn't even taking sides for his own side. Terrible. That's funny, man. You guys have to check out, I think it was middle of the last hour of the JLP show today during Super Chats. So anyway.
Yeah, I just wanted to call and let you know that. I didn't appreciate that.
And what was that Super Chat? I think I could pull that up just so that people are not totally lost on that. You said we must take the beam out of our own side first. JLP says Christianity is the only religion that says you must repent and forgive. But there are plenty that teach love. Love implies forgiveness because you cannot love while holding a grudge. And JLP says you cannot teach love. Yeah, and I'm all, boo! Boo! I'm like, in your face, Wow's Witness. I hope that you are able to call on the Bible Thumper Thursday, which is in 2 days on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Even though you say you're not a Bible thumper. But
I'm not.
That's funny, man. I'm glad you called in and confronted me on my boom. I couldn't contain my immature ego response.
It's all right.
That's cool, man.
So how do you learn love if it's not taught? It's given?
I think that it's... Well, this is a good question for JLP, but I would say that God has given us a spirit of power and love and a sound mind. And some of us, it's not very evident, but I think it's a spirit given you rather than taught. You can set an example and it shows people, hey, there's another way that's not from this thing that I'm presenting, which is not actual love. So would you wouldn't think we would be naturally born with love, and that the parents that impose their will on the kids and that's because the law says the law is written in our hearts. So you grow up, you should naturally have the law of God in your heart, right? But growing up, the parents impose their will on you. You may be right. You may be right. But I think children are kind of naive rather than totally innocent. I heard a wise man say children are not quite innocent, but naive. So they're innocent, but they're also mainly naive. They don't know, and then they're open, meaning they're open to corruption. Naive means open to corruption, I guess. Yes. So, and deception.
All right.
So, yeah.
I know you're about to have to go, so I don't want to hold you up.
I appreciate it, man. It's good to hear from you. Are you white or black, Dustin, or Hispanic?
I'm white.
Okay,
I'm white.
Nice, man. With Southerners, I can't always tell because you guys speak Southern, which is...
That's right. That's right. We got real men down here.
Nice. It's great to hear from you. Thanks for calling my show, Dustin. What an honor.
All right, man.
All right, call me again.
Have a good one.
You as well.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Guys, this has been the Hake Report, and I started late, but I'm going to end on time. Enjoy Jacky, Corazon de Melao. Don't ask me what that means. I hope it's not dirt. I hope it's clean. Corazon de Melao, and it's a 2000 cover of the 1999 original by Emmanuel, originally written by Jose Antonio Rodriguez, and Manuel Tejada. Those two wrote it for Emmanuel, and maybe they are part of Emmanuel, I don't know. But it's a live performance, I guess, or something. Corazon, which means heart. De Melao, don't ask me, I don't know. Ask the Spanish speakers in Hake chat. And by Jacky Cheung. Enjoy. And I got to go because we got to let Joel Friday in here. So, adios, America. Bye. Nice. So good. Is Joel ready to come in? Maybe we could bring Joel in to do this transition. It's a straight transition. It's Jacky Cheung. All right, guys. Adios. Go see Joel Friday TV right after this. American Anchor, baby, after that. And hopefully you see you tomorrow. Bye.
She's got a big tango and she's got a big swell. She does this with a smile and she does this on the floor. And she knows how to drive and so loco. Corazon de Melao, 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 hey, Corazon de Melao, 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 Corazon de Melao, 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 hey, Corazon de Melao, Melao, Melao. The man who knows his trouble, but what else can do? She's got him round his finger with a different points of view. She wants to wear her trouble, she dancing to his life. She's got him working up for him all night. I got a son of Melao, 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 hey, Corazon of Melao, 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 Corazon of Melao, 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 hey, Corazon of Melao, 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 Corazon. Corazon, Corazon, Corazon de Melao, Corazon de Melao, Corazon de Melao, Corazon de Melao. Man has seen it all, but not like this before. Girl who turns up the heat by walking through the door. When she hits the dance floor, she runs up all the light. She's the one and only one thing in his side. Man, it's just us and no one's all it's gonna need. We only know what he wants and what he really needs. He needs to know what makes her ticks and all her other games. He knows no other woman he can save. My Corazon.